Hey there, welcome into another exciting episode of A for Effort. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we start off giving thanks to our unofficial sponsor of the podcast, AMC A-List. $19.95 a month gets you 3 movies a week at local AMC theaters in your area. Check AMC.com for theater listings and offer availability. But on today's episode, you do not need to leave the comfort of your own home because we're watching the Netflix original, I Am Mother. I love good hardcore sci-fi, anything to do with artificial intelligence, anything to do with robots, anything to do with just sci-fi in general. I'm all in on this. So I saw a trailer for this when it came out back in March, and I was like, okay, I'm all for it. I think the movie came out in April, so I'm like, let me jump on this today. I'm flipping through my Netflix, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a movie I haven't seen yet, and it's fairly recent, so let's do it. Let's watch this movie today. And man, I really enjoyed myself. I had a good time with this one, and it's definitely like not the best movie I've ever seen, but it's great. It's an interesting story of what it means to be human, and can artificial intelligence take care of humanity in a way that we can take care of each other. The movie centers around an event that happens where the earth is decimated, and there's this robot who is a caretaker, and she has all these embryos, and she takes an embryo, creates a little girl, and cares for her. And you don't know any names. It's mother, it's daughter, it's woman. When they find, spoiler alert, a woman comes from outside, because mother keeps telling daughter that she can't go outside, bad things happen outside, and then this woman just appears, and it's like there's what she's talking about is not real, that the world isn't destroyed outside, right? And it's this story of like, is mother lying, is woman lying, who is telling the truth, and how do we get to the bottom of it? And I love daughter. She was just an amazing actress in this movie, and I don't know her from much. In fact, I don't know her from anything at all prior to this movie, but she was wonderful, and her name is Clara Regard. She just was outstanding. I mean, she's the center of the movie, and Hilary Swank, who plays woman, comes in later and obviously has a lot to do with the plot, and Rose Byrne plays the voice of mother. But this girl Clara just dominates screen time, and I'd love to see her in more things. You know, this movie was great. It's one of the better Netflix originals that I've ever seen. Like I said, I love anything sci-fi and artificial intelligence, and there's this big plot twist at the end that mother actually caused the event to wipe out humanity because she was made to care for humanity, and then realized that if she just started from scratch with humanity, that she would create a perfect society. And wow, I mean, like, what a twist ending, what a interesting plot. I mean, the movie was so self-contained. It was very much a bottle movie. You know, you don't really leave the housing unit where mother and daughter live, except for maybe about 10 minutes of the movie at the end. But movies like that can be self-contained and focus more on the story and the character development, allow for flourishment of development. And like, it wasn't too dark. The cinematography wasn't dark, but it was in terms of like, you know, the shadowing and the hallways and the corridors that the movie's filmed in, but I enjoyed myself. I had a great time with this movie, and you know, I want to sit here and say that it's going to get an A+, but I have to settle in on an A for effort, because I needed a little more from mother, and from like, I had an interesting development towards the end where you find out that daughter is the third attempt, and I would have liked a little bit more about what happened to 2 and what happened to 1, and I kind of in my mind believe that Hilary Swank was 1, but I'm not entirely sure. So I wanted a little more. So for that, it gets an A for effort. And I'm not saying this movie's bad, you know, and I'm not saying this movie's the best thing I've ever seen either, but it definitely is worth a watch on Netflix. I had a good time watching it, and it's one of those ones that I would recommend to other people to watch. It was definitely a good original movie, one of the better ones that they've put out in the recent time that they've been doing these Netflix originals. It's definitely worth a watch. And you don't got to leave the comfort of your home. I have been your host, Matt. Like, share, subscribe, and comment on all the YouTube videos. Find us on Apple, Google, and Spotify. You can also find the Geekly Effort, our weekly show where we talk all things nerdy on Apple, Google, and Spotify as well. 5-star reviews on both A for Effort and the Geekly Effort go a long way for us, so we appreciate all of it. Again, I have been your host, Matt. Come back to us next time on another exciting episode of A for Effort. We will have another quality movie review.